Assalamu alaikum. I'm Ali Haj, a Levite prophet representing the seven thunders and a priest of the Abrahamic covenant. This presentation, we're going to begin it with the Holocaust. The Holocaust. Brothers and sisters, everything that you see, what's taking place, is stemming from this Holocaust. This unprecedented time, excuse me, this 400 years of horror and terror that is described as the 400 years, the sojourning that we will be in a strange land, made to serve and afflicted by a people we will be afflicted, made to serve and afflicted. And brothers and sisters, we have been afflicted here by the hands of this Caucasian white man, this devil, by America. We have been dehumanized, our language, we were stripped of language. We was made and considered as low as animals. Lower in some cases. We were fed shit, literally, to live off of. Cow shit, shitterlings, pig shit, and the things that they feed pigs and what the pig is, and we're eating the pig shit. Something that you can't even poison, and we eating its shit. But it's something that we had to do. Being raped, sodomized, butt broken. Children being raped, sodomized. This nation is filled of pedophilia, pedophiles. They was taking our young girls and boys, raping them, sodomizing them, taking the men, the women, raping them, the same thing. Doing anything they wanted to do as if we were animals. As you see, they hump. Go look on the internet. They humping pigs, sheep. Now, you know people like that, yeah, they gonna that's this horror. Hanging us, lynching us, burning us, eating us, using our children to go hunt alligators. I mean, putting shit in our mouths and sealing it closed. Putting the apparatus on it to keep it in there. In your mouth. Being tortured in all kind of ways. Put into hot boxes. Chased by literally. You see the wrestling that they call WWE. No, it wasn't no WWE. It was N again, N-A-N. Nigga against nigga. That's how they had it. Fighting till the death. Or fighting till one is literally main or damn near dead. This is the Holocaust, and this is the consequence. They thought all these years they didn't see no consequence in what they were doing. They thought they was beyond consequence, and that Jesus gonna save us from this, and we're gonna put it all on Jesus. Like there's no consequence. Consequence. What is it? It's the action. Every action has an equal reaction. Every action has an equal reaction. So 400 years of doing what you've been doing. Killing us, raping us. Just, you can't go no deeper than that. Dehumanized. Dehumanized. 3/5 of a man, taking out the human family, out, taken away from being a human and treated as an animal. And we talk about hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. From 1555 when we got here, but 1619 is when Jefferson was the can't think of the name of it. Whatever. The some project, but it was slavery. 1619, and they speaking about, okay, $1954 is when they started. So it was 1960. 1960 something, when they was forced to give you rights as a human. That's 300 years. That's over 300 years of being treated as an animal. Beaten, homes burnt, Brothers and sisters dragged out their homes, put on crosses, burnt, killed, lynched. This was natural for them. This is what their nature was all about. This was their nature. So, this Holocaust, this 400 years of horror, 400 years of terror, that they put us through. Their ancestors being millions of us killed. Approximately 200 million just on the trip over. Millions of us lost our lives. Children, our life expectancy was 20, 25 years old because of what they was feeding. They was giving us that we was disposable. They only wanted the best, the prime years, your best years. You get in your 20s, they wanted you young and then dead to keep recycling, not allowing you to live, keeping you fresh and new and go because keep new ones coming in. So, brothers and sisters, they want to call this critical race theory. They want to say it was slavery. Slavery is minimum overhead for maximum profit. Minimum overhead with maximum profit. And they definitely reap the max they can get when dealing with us. They maxed every aspect because they wasn't giving us nothing. Zero. But horror and terror. That's all we was receiving. That's something we received on a regular. Horror and terror. The only thing we was receiving from this devil, this beast. Now, excuse me, let us get into we're not going to hold you on the Holocaust because it's all pertaining to the Holocaust. And they're not going to get away with it. They can call it a critical race theory. They don't want people to hear of it. They don't want to tell their children. But at first they was, this is how you do these niggas. Look here. Turn their children here. Look. Look at this. See how we burn these niggas? Get you a piece of his skin. Pull something off of it. Don't look at him and don't cry. Don't you have any pity for these niggas? You don't have pity for a black man. For these niggas. They're lower than animals. They had their children looking in. They's participating. They made them. Now they don't want their children to know what they've been doing. What they've done to us. Now it's a secret. No. We don't want. No, not now. We don't want this no more. We don't want our children to see it. We want our children counted in for the shit that, we don't want them exposed to all that because, they should know about what their daddies and mamas and grandpas and uncles and great uncles and been doing to y'all. We don't want our children to know we've been hanging y'all and killing y'all and burning y'all and eating y'all and studying y'all like lab rats. And that's how we learned everything. Y'all brought in all this knowledge. We just took the credit for it. They don't want their children to know that. However, we're going to go and take this and get to our topic. topic today is the time is at hand. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So let's get into that. The time is at hand. And what are you going to do? I'm going to take this down. Here's this background. So, this presentation is timely. Just thinking after the newscast, had me, in a second of trance, in a certain thinking on a lot of things. So then I'm gonna do this presentation. This time is at hand. The time is at hand. We're getting closer and closer to Master Fard Muhammad pulling the switch, going into motion. And he's going to begin the war in the Middle East with his two angels, Iran and Syria. However, the time is at hand. So I'm going to start this. I'm going to read this Abrahamic covenant because, brothers and sisters, for where we're at in time, before I read this Abrahamic covenant, I've been sharing with you, we've been sharing with you, those of us that are in the know, that align themselves with the messenger of the covenant, consistently about what's going to take place. What is this JCPOA? What will be the spark to the war in the Middle East? 2 years ago, before you can even see any of these conditions that you're able to see now, you're able to see them all unfolding in your face. But for 2 consecutive years, sharing this knowledge with you on what's taking place, how it's going to take place, and what's the outcome going to be. So consistently giving you the understanding from the events that are affecting the world today, that are going to affect you and the world where you are, that you live in. So, unlike the chief demon and his demons and his either sellouts like Ishmael, butt broken, liars, using the messenger's name as a soundbite, knowing they're not teaching nothing from the messenger's teaching, knowing that they're totally going against what the messenger taught, bringing devils into the NOI, kissing and hugging on devils, loving this, denouncing the messenger and Master Fard Muhammad. However, they haven't been given no information on what's taking place day to day. Only thing they've been sharing with you are lies, and the only consistent thing that comes out of the mouth of those demons are watch the weather. Nothing else. Watch the weather. And everything else is, you're not going nowhere. We have to plan and get better. You got preparing to go to war. Go to war for who? Yeah, now he's telling his sisters that they're going to be on the front line. So, we've been giving you direct information about what's coming, how it's coming, what's not going to happen, what is going to happen, what's the outcome of what's going to happen far in advance. From the unsealed scriptures that the scriptures bear witness to. And every scriptures bear witness to Louis Farrakhan being the son of perdition. Louis Farrakhan being Peter. Louis Farrakhan being Aaron of the scriptures. The mouth. Louis Farrakhan being a hypocrite. The biggest hypocrite. Louis Farrakhan, all the information points to Louis Farrakhan working for the government. The counter intelligence program. He's presented all those, everything that they said they wanted the nation to be, he's put it into motion. Louis Farrakhan working for the open enemy. Louis Farrakhan working for the Ishmaelites. Working for the jinn. Everything points to what he's doing. And nothing that he says or nothing that they say can you utilize and see anything what's taking place today. So much so, they stay away. They speak around and parts of the Abrahamic covenant, and they don't want to deal with it because they know it exposes the truth, and they can't teach the truth because they're compromised. He's been bought. He works for the government. He's compromised, and he sits and as they kiss his kiss his butt. And are pushing these lies on our people, keeping the truth away from them, standing on nothing but lies, That's why his manhood has been taken. That's why he's shitting out of a bag. He's foul. He is foul. However, the time we've been speaking, I've been definitely sharing with you through on a news basis, through the unsealed scriptures, in all ways to getting you this information so that you can see and understand what's being shared with you from the scriptures and what's taking place in the world and how it bears witness to everything that you're being shared from the scriptures. They're both in line. They're both entwined. The 6,000 years is entwined with the 400 years. There's 6,000 years and our 400 years. All those things came together at a point in time, at the same time that time came about. So 2019 came in and put us at this period of time of the end of their rule, the end of our sojourning, or the end of our 400 years, and the beginning of their judgment. So the plague that broke out in 2020, that went through and decimated the European countries. It didn't pass none of their countries over. It passed over Africa, Haiti, all the, where the black man lives, and black man and woman of America, the originals. The demons are acceptable to getting the virus and dying, but the original people was not acceptable to it. It was like the scriptures shared. It was just as the scriptures shared, that those with the blood of the Lamb will be passed over. And that's exactly what happened. So getting to what we've been saying for 2 years about this JCPOA, the Joint Plan of Action, the JCPOA, the nuclear deal that was set up by Barack Obama in 2015, and was walked away from by Donald Trump in 2018, and has been trying to be, and has been an attempt to revive it for the last year and a half by Joe Biden. However, we shared that this was going to be the time this JCPOA will be the spark that will bring this war of the Middle East and the beginning of Armageddon about. Now, the U.S. has share that the JCPOA is off the table. We share with you that Iran was not going to go back up under this deal. Before Biden got into office, we were sharing with you that Iran, this JCPOA, will be taking place in Iran, will not go back up under this deal. Excuse me. So they've been saying that they're not going to go. And this is before Biden was even meeting, that before they was set up the Vienna thing. Now, all the time as they're negotiating and going through it, we're sharing the outcome of the JCPOA all the time, pretty much every day, keeping you in tune with what's taking place, showing you when they're when the reports come out of the talks or what happened on this session and this session. We kept you in tune along the whole way. Now, we've already told you, let you know far in advance what the outcome was going to be, what was going to happen. Now, America is saying the JCPOA is off the table. They share with false Israel that we untied your hands. We're not going to keep your hands tied. Begin the planning for Plan B. Get the planning for Plan B. However, double talking, two-edged tongue, we still want to handle this diplomatically as they're speaking to Iran. But we still want to handle this diplomatically. But it's off the table and plan for Plan B. Now, we kept, waited a week or so. Now you hear the JCPOA, the Iran nuclear deal is it's in the ER. It's terminal. It's in the ER. It's on life support. It's that low. It's not gonna happen. It looks like it's dead. Then another report. The JCPOA, it's in the freezer. It looks like it's froze. It froze. Now over this week's UN yearly meeting in New York, it says U.S. to remain engaged on Iran deal as U.S. to remain engaged on Iran deal as UN prepares equally for Plan B. And Iran West at odds. U.S. sees no breakthrough on nuclear deal at UN. So they're preparing for Plan B. They cannot, and with that, The Congress now is asking for reports of the paperwork and whatever takes place. They're pushing this agenda right now. They're going through the courts or whatever. They want Congress wants to be able to see the papers, the paperwork, the deal, and they want to that deal, the paperwork, going to have to go through Congress to even get it approved. They want to see it. They don't want no loop. They want to understand and want to know, is this the deal, and is it affecting? Could it cause any problems with our allies? How does it affect? They want to see it first before it's approved or moved into. So, this working, they're moving on with Plan B. They're working on, they're preparing Plan B. Now, you hear this two-edged sword that, okay, we want to do this, but the basis of it all is Iran, not even with the Congress now getting involved, Iran is not no one's dumb. It's two things that's definitely it's not going to happen, because we're going to stick to the reason behind, the main reason, period, is America refuses to give Iran any type of guarantee. They're not guaranteed in anything. But they want someone to guarantee to get rid of everything they produce, but they're not going to give you any type of guarantee that they're going to do what they say they're going to do, or what, and they insist that they can't give a guarantee that the next administration want just change. So walk away from the deal immediately. So you want a nation to stop producing something that benefits them and their security and them as a nation, but you can't guarantee nothing that you're going to do. But then you sit up and act like they're wrong for wanting a guarantee. After America walked out of the deal initially, and then brought on stronger sanctions, and America right now is putting on more sanctions on top, as they're saying that they want to make this deal, and they put more sanctions on them for selling merchandise, materials of war, which America is selling all over the world all the time. They have put over $50 billion into the Ukraine war, and they're selling a product that they make and have for sale to their allies. Someone coming to buy a product. And America is doing this. America is doing this every day. This is what they do. So or you're looking on and you seeing the nature of this country, the nature of its allies, the tactics You can see their mindset. You can see what they're about. And we're sharing this to you from the unsealed scriptures. We know that this America has done treachery like no other nation to a people. Has 400 years of horror and terror on their hands that they did to the black man and woman. But they want to parade the world like they're a nation of peace, liberty, and justice. And as if they're humanitarians to the world. And they push this war. They push Ukraine into this. They're attacking Russia. So, with all this going around, let us get into this. Let me finish this first. So, now you see the JCPOA. What are you trying to say? What else is more to say? Because Iran said there is no deal and no reason to even talk about a deal if we can't get any type of guarantee. America said we're not guaranteeing anything. They're planning. The UN is equally planning Plan B. False Israel is planning Plan B. So, as they're planning Plan B, they're pretending, putting on a cover show as if to keep Iran calm. Or let's keep this acting like we want this as we plan. So soon we get our plan together, we're going to make our move. The same way they just got through making this move on Russia. That America, the UN, has went in, dialed up, assisted, and drew up this plan and was, let's say, with, okay, they said who? They script the hit. They the one that sent the hit. Not who carried it out. Ukraine carried it out. But America and NATO planned it out. Used America's I can't, it's slipping my mind. However, I'll get it. Use America's intelligence, intel, all the European intel, set it up. They passed their weapons. They set it all up. So they made this strike. Now, All these things is happening that we've been sharing with you. Now you see, the very thing that we've been sharing with you about the energy crisis that will be with Europe, they will have this energy crisis. You can look across and see now that we've been sharing with you about China, death in Hades, uniting. So now you see China, they're making this agreement. China, who's in it? China, India, Russia. These are, you see this, these things happening in your face that we've been sharing with you from the unsealed scriptures. So, say all that. We let you know where we were at the time of this JCPOA wasn't going back. They wasn't going back into it. The year and a half as they spoke on it, there wasn't one time that we didn't say that they're not going back into it. So, the JCPOA is dead. They're not going back into it. What else is there to say? So, where are we at in time? This abomination of desolation. This war in the Middle East. That's where we're at. This war in the Middle East. Now, before I get into the abomination of desolation, I'm going to bring this because I'm going to speak on this. Let me see what we're working with. Got to. There we are. It's on here. I just gotta find it. Yeah. All right, well, I usually have it here. However, they have some kind of way got it took it off with everything that's been I don't see nothing else being took off but that. Oh, there it is. I knew it wasn't off there. Okay. So, we're going to show this. Brothers and sisters, why are you not receiving this from anyone else? No one else is telling you what's taking place step by step. No one else has been telling you what's going to happen 2 years in advance and speaking on it consistently to keep you informed and still sticking to what was shared 2 years in advance. Master Suleiman has been doing it for 30 years. 30 years the messenger of the covenant has been teaching for this time. Now, why Why? Why haven't you heard? Or why is not your mind locked in on the Abrahamic covenant? Because why aren't your preachers, your ministers, your pastors, why don't they even speak? Why don't you even hear about the Abrahamic covenant? Why? Ask yourself, why? Why? You go to church all the time. Why aren't you hearing anything on the Abrahamic covenant? Because this is what. How do you get into these schools? So you don't even know that. Who formulated these schools? The false Jews. You don't know that. However, we're going to tell you like this. Why? I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it because this is the Holocaust, the 400 years. This is what you've been through. This identifies with the black man and woman, period, point blank. This identifies with those that seed of Abraham that is going to be rewarded the birthright. So, let us read it. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. A horror. He's seen this horror pulse. He's seen it. He's seen it. And then it tells him what he was seeing. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. So he's seen this horror. And the God told him, know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that's not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. Will I judge? And afterwards shall they come out with great substance. But thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. And in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a flaming torch that passed between these pieces. In that day God made a covenant with Abraham, saying, unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. But brothers and sisters, it's telling you about the Holocaust. It's telling you about your reward, your land, everything that's been taken from you. It tells you about your sojourning here in a land that is not theirs. It's describing this to you. We've been giving you scripture, unsealed scripture after unsealed scripture, sharing you with event after event. After the 400 years, the plague will come. All these things after the 400 years. So when you look into the scriptures, when you look into Revelations, when you look into the rest of the Bible, all the things that you see that the scriptures are speaking about happen after the 400 years of the sojourning of Abraham's seed in this strange land where they was afflicted for 400 years. And after that, all the rest of the things in the scriptures came about, immediately came about, one thing after another after that 400 years. And where we at in the time? What are you going to do? We've been letting you know. Go ask your pastor, your preacher, why they don't talk about it. Go pose a question. Pose a question to yourself. So why is this? Why is this all happening after 2020? After 2020, why is all these things taking place? Why has the world been the same since? What's taking place? They're already telling you in their words that the world is on a change. After this year, they said that nations are going to change. Power switches is going to change. All what we've been sharing with you from the unsealed scripture. Now that even it's been shared to you by the rocks. The rocks is crying out the truth. I'm on my, excuse me. Excuse me, I'm just tired of that. I took that call. However, the rocks are crying out. And we're telling you, what you gonna do now? The JCPOA is out. 2 years we've been before you even seen them coming back and forth, going back through it. We was telling you that they're not going back. The JCPOA is going to be the spark to this war in the Middle East. Now, we're in that time. This time that we're in, and it's still, you don't even understand what this time that we're moving into. You're still in the past, looking at prophecy as you're looking backwards. Prophecy is being told for you to see what's going to happen forward. Prophecy, you can see ahead. You don't prophesy nothing backwards. It already happened. So we've been telling you what you're going to see ahead of time. What's going to take place? What's the outcome? Now we're sitting at this time. Any moment, any day. And when this happens, nothing's going to be nothing. From this point on will be the same. And it's already not the same, but you're not. Master Fard Muhammad, Michael, and his angels are going to go into action at any time now. Because they're planning on plan B. But the unsealed scriptures share that Michael and his angels are going to war with the dragon and his angels. Michael being Master Fard Muhammad. His angels are Iran and Syria are going to war with the dragon, the House of Saud, America and Britain, and false Israel. And they're going to eliminate the House of Saud. They're going to take them down. They're going to kick America and Britain out the Middle East. And they're going to siege and destroy false Israel. Now the unsealed script, the scriptures say, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, know that its desolation is near. Know that its destruction is near. As it's near. Brothers and sisters, ask yourself. Put yourself in this Abrahamic covenant. Ask anybody. Ask your preacher. Why is this Abrahamic covenant being tempered? Why is this being kept from us? Why is no one speaking about this? Why you can't speak on this? Why is this lying throne, this lying false Israel trying to even put anything about this covenant to fit them? Because nothing, they can't hold to no part of it, because it doesn't talk about a damn Holocaust or a 4-year event that happened off of something that they caused, was a reaction to something that they done. No, they can't sit a finger on this Abrahamic covenant and claim any parts of it, and they can't claim nothing about the Passover because the plague did not pass them over. It decimated them. It didn't pass over near Caucasian nation, none, and it's still affecting them to this day. They think that it got you. It's still, we ain't done. We're not done with them yet. Not even with that. So, where we at in this? Where we at in time? Abomination of desolation. Everything that's been shared from the unsealed scriptures has came round about in your face. And we've been letting you know far in advance. And again, abomination of desolation. Michael and his angels going to take out the house of Saudi Arabia. They're going to remove it. They're going to kick America and Britain out the Middle East, and they're going to siege and destroy false Israel. Master Fard Muhammad, Iran, and Syria, this is what they're going to do. This is the next event. This is where we're at in time. This is, and when this happens, there won't be another sleepless, it won't be another good night's sleep. And I'll tell you that. Everything is happening, is affecting the world. The world is being affected. And you see, look around the world. Look at Europe. Look at where everybody's being affected. And we've shared with you about the energy crisis. We've shared with you about wars and rumors of wars. And what's the cause and which war is the war to be looking for? This war right here in the Middle East. This war is going to produce the war of Armageddon. The shock of the this war, the abomination of desolation. Looking at the timeline on the angel, we're in the time of the abomination of desolation. So we got to get ready. Levites, get ready for this. Got to get ready to blow the winds. However, I'm going to bring this segment to a close, brothers and sisters. We're in this time. This the time we're in. We're in the time of the abomination of desolation, the shock of the hour. I can't say it anymore. We keeping you informed far ahead of time and giving you the outcome. And the outcome is right in your face. Lewis didn't do it. Nobody winning. None of them. They don't even speak on it because they can't. They're not speaking on nothing that's taking place, nothing that's happening. They're talking about how they eat to live. Things that don't even make. They don't know nothing. They don't know nothing. And they can't even talk about that because they're not teaching the messengers teaching. They're not even teaching the messengers teachings. Just a lot of messes they done made up. However, I'm going to bring this segment to a close. And I greet you as I came, and the greeting words of peace, of Assalamu alaikum.